and welcome to this edition of Shelby This Week. Here are some of the stories we have for you. Police departments across the state of Michigan are increasing their patrols on the roadway with a goal to cut down on drunk driving. This annual race benefits the Shelby Township Police Honor Guard. Learning to swim at a young age could save your child's life. We talked to swim instructors on the importance of swim lessons. We have these stories and more on this edition of Shelby This Week. In the United States, Labor Day is one of the deadliest times on the road. To help keep drivers safe during the upcoming holiday, the Macomb County Sheriff's Office and the Shelby Township Police Department will be participating in the nationwide campaign, Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over. Law enforcement officials will increase patrols from now until September 2nd. They will be on the lookout for motorists on the road who are under the influence of drugs and alcohol. In the state of Michigan, it is illegal to drive with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or higher. And if a deputy believes a driver is impaired, regardless of BAC, motorists can be arrested. The Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign is supported through the federal traffic safety funds. Remember to make smart decisions while you're on the road. 3 people have been charged in connection to passing counterfeit checks in the last month. The Macomb County Sheriff's Office says they received reports that 11 counterfeit checks have been passed at party stores in Mount Clemens, Clinton Township, Troy, and Shelby Township. Donald Coletta of Westland, Marissa Flecteau of Garden City, and Dawn Fox of Redford could face felony charges in uttering and publishing and false pretenses. They allegedly passed fake copies of checks which the Sheriff's Department issues to people when they are released from jail. The checks cover the funds taken from people when they are sent to jail. The checks were made out to people who were never incarcerated and range in the amount of $300 to $725. The combined charges could put the 3 people behind bars for 19 years. Money raised during this 5K benefits the Police Honor Guard. Kyle Warzbach has more from Riverbends Park. Whoa, Speedy!
4 years ago, Maureen Mulder started the Back the Badge 5K to support local police officers.
You know, really wanted to give back to the community. There are some law enforcement connections in my family. Wanted to bring that out. Fallen officers, they are people who sacrifice and give their life, and I want everyone to remember their sacrifice and to be honored.
All proceeds from the race benefit the Shelby Township Police Honor Guard. And Maureen, who grew up here, is also the spouse of a police officer.
Every officer is a person. They have a family. They have a job, a duty, and it's who they are. And that calling is something they don't deny. So for me, having someone who works for the police and in law enforcement, I know what it's like being on the other end. There's, they get out there and they sacrifice and they do more than us, but the support, we give and the risk, it's all about the risk and just knowing what they're doing while they're out on the road.
On display at the race was a board of fallen officers. Each officer had a number that was matched up with each runner. And one runner was in for quite a surprise.
I was a little shocked. I went up and my number was 33, was the fallen officer that I was here to run for based on my packet. My brother-in-law is officer 35 on the board, Kevin Sherwood from Clare County. So I saw the background and I recognized the picture from the distance. I looked down and I was shocked, a little bit, I guess, melancholy. I mean, it was a sad moment, but a happy moment too.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Thanks to the community's support over the last 4 years, around $20,000 have been raised for the Honor Guard from this race alone.
I love the community. They come together, they support.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Kyle Warzbach.
Swimming is a fun summertime activity, but this doesn't mean it is not dangerous. This year's Great Lakes drowning numbers show many people died in Michigan lakes simply from drowning. Samana Sheik explains the importance of starting swim lessons from a young age.
54 people drowned in the Great Lakes this year alone, and now this one pool is changing lives.
Flip turn? And what else?
Elaine Lucas brings her granddaughter,
Side breaths
Gwendolyn,
today.
to Goldfish Swim School in Macomb County. She started her lessons earlier this year.
We wanted her to have the strokes to be able to swim. We knew she could save herself if she got into trouble. She's been in the water since she's been 5 months old.
Knowing the basics is important. Michigan is a peninsula surrounded by water, and people need to realize water can be dangerous. In Lake Michigan alone, 28 people died from drownings. The reason Lexi Weidenhammer, a swim instructor at Goldfish Swim School, makes sure everyone knows basic skills.
Floating on your back, being able to roll over from your stomach to your back, so that way you know how to have that technical skill, if you will, and also working on treading water, so that way you can stay afloat and breathe.
Lexi recommends swim lessons as young as 4 months. Her manager, Cindy Max, wants to help change this year's statistic.
Drowning statistics have shown us that what happens to children that fall into a pool is they swim to where they see, whereas if they had just turned around, kicked and pulled a couple times back to the side of the pool, they could have, if they knew how to climb out, they could have saved themselves.
And water safety skills are taught at Goldfish. This way, if anyone goes to one of the Great Lakes, they can stay cautious from the water tide. Usually, beaches have high tide warnings. Cindy pressures people to follow the rules. But if you're drowning,
if they can float on their back, that would be the best thing. And then say, I am drowning, I need help. A lot of times drowning victims look like they're playing. They're kind of bobbing up and down, which is called active drowning. And in that situation, sometimes it is very difficult for somebody who's not a trained eye to actually understand that.
Cindy and Lexi tell beginner swimmers to wear a U.S. Coast Guard life jacket and swim with a buddy. Grandmothers like Elaine would be a nervous wreck if she saw Gwendolyn in danger, but would relax and tell her to
Definitely float so that someone could come and get to her.
You should rather be safe than sorry. In Macomb County, Samana Sheik reporting.
Still ahead on Shelby this week, it's time to say see you next time. Learn when the splash pad will be closing the gates for the season. And a volunteer opportunity will get you to the water. Stay with us for more Shelby This Week.
I'll be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
It's hard to believe summer is coming to a close in a few weeks. It seems like it just began. And with the summer end in near, that means the splash pad will close its gates for the season. Its last day of operations is Monday, September 2nd. The splash pad will be open its regular hours from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. A daily pass is $2 or $25 for an annual family pass, which is good for up to 4 children. The splash pad located at Jean Shepherd Park is open to all Shelby Township and Utica residents. Be sure to get the kids out there one last time this season to enjoy the day in the water and the sun. And while the splash pad will be closing for the kids, it will be open for one last day for the dogs. On September 8th, Shelby Township's first ever Bow Wow Luau is happening at Jean Shepherd Park Splash Pad. Each dog will cost $7 and owners are free to get in. All dogs must have proof of vaccinations and proof of current Macomb County dog license in order to attend. The whole event is pet-friendly and will include pet-friendly vendors. From 11 a.m. to 11:50 a.m., dogs 75 pounds and up are permitted. From 12 to 12:50 p.m., dogs 31 pounds to 69 pounds will be permitted. And from 1 p.m. to 1:50 p.m., dogs 30 pounds and below will be invited in. For more information, call 586-731-0300. Surrounded by water in the state of Michigan, we should be more aware of what we are throwing in this vital resource. If you want to make a difference in cleaning the water, the Clinton River Watershed Council is looking for volunteers to help clean up on September 21st. Last year, more than 4,000 pounds of trash was removed from the Clinton River. This annual event has been around for 18 years now. It encourages communities, businesses, and volunteers to organize the cleanups around the watershed. The council will provide volunteers with a t-shirt, bags, gloves, waders, and grabbers for trash pickup. For more information, you can contact Kathleen Sexton at kathleen@crwc.org or call 248-601-0606. For some pet owners, money may be tight when it comes to providing food for their animal. The Humane Society of Macomb developed a food pantry program where owners can get free food for their cats and dogs. This was developed with the idea to keep these pets with their families rather than making the families face the hard decision to give up their pet because of finance situations. Food in the pantry is donated through members of the community. Right now, the Humane Society is in need of cat food. They need wet or dry food, and it can be any brand or flavor. As long as it is unopened, they will take it. All items can be dropped off at the Humane Society of Macomb, located on 22 Mile Road. They are open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And speaking of the Humane Society of Macomb, if you find yourself at the shelter donating, maybe you'll also want to check out some of the animals they have up for adoption, including Binks. This active, playful cat is ready for his forever home.
Binks is an energetic kitten. So we've had Binks here for 109 days. He is a year old. We still consider that a kitten, and he has tons of kitten energy. He also likes to be the center of attention, so he can't go to a home with any dogs, any other cats, or no young kids because he can be a little rambunctious. But he's just super playful, super energetic. He's looking for a home where somebody's going to take him in and help stimulate him mentally. A couple of 15 to 20 minute play sessions a day. Somebody that's going to give him that time to burn off that energy, so that way he can really settle into a home. So Binks actually used to be an emotional support cat for the lady that had to surrender him. So he's very needy. He loves attention, but he's not a cuddly cat. He just kind of wants you to give him the attention whether you're playing with him. He's needy, he's curious, he talks a lot. He's not your typical cat. He really is kind of a fun-loving guy.
Coming up next, safety is important not only on the township level, but also on the county level. We take you to new heights with County Executive Mark Hackle. It's the first show of the season. Mamma Mia is guaranteed to make you dance and sing in your seat when you see the show at Avon Players.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle takes to new heights as he trains with the Shelby Township Fire Department. Stacy Sansatera has more.
The public is depending on the men and women of the Shelby Township Fire Department to be 100% proficient 100% of the time. And the only way this will happen is through training.
For safety, everybody out there, right? So we're gonna do what we can to get them when they're in bad situations, and we need to train to keep up on that and make sure we have proper equipment.
And because partnerships are so important, the Shelby Township Fire Department elevated their training while joining forces with the Macomb County Technical Rescue Team.
Right now we're training on a window washer being stuck, either equipment failure, medical condition, whatever it may be. They're not in major distress, so we're setting up a nice rigging system safely to repel them back down to the bottom.
And when the training is about rappelling, where does one go to find a tall building? Enter the Macomb County Administration Building.
So we have a whole team up top and a couple guys down below. We bring a guy down, we set up next to him, we do a pick off, so we hook him to our system, and then we lower him back down, take him off his existing system, use ours to bring him down to the ground safely.
And because he is always up for a challenge, Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle jumped at the opportunity to be a part of this high-profile training.
Probably the hardest part was that first initial, foot over the ledge, because it's straight down, and so once I got that foot over the ledge, everything else just kind of was natural. It was like, okay, I can do this, and they just let you down very easily. So it was actually a pretty smooth ride.
Thanks.
If they can get a guy like me who's never done that before, go off the top of this building here in Mount Clemens, trusting them, and actually come down safely, they're going to be able to take care of the public here in Macomb County.
100% proficiency 100% of the time. The standard that is the Shelby Township Fire Department. And the working relationships with the county benefit us all.
The training, the professionalism, the willingness to work together, that makes the difference, because everybody has their own little islands, their own little separate agencies. But I'm going to tell you, here in Macomb County, they know how to work well together, and that's a benefit to the public. And Shelby Township's one of the leaders in that area.
For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
Avon Players is marking the opening of its 73rd season, a very popular musical which is based on the 1970s Swedish pop band.
It's Mamma Mia.
Honey, honey, don't conceal it. Honey, honey. Always sunny in a rich man's world.
Thank you for the music, for giving it to me.
They've kind of put all this ABBA music together to create kind of a fantastic story of a mom and a daughter who live on a Greek island, and the daughter is about to get married, and so she's trying to figure out who her father is so that she can invite him to the wedding.
For Shelby Township resident Tracy Murray, who plays the role of Donna, the mother, this music brought back a lot of memories for her.
Because I grew up with these songs, so I remember myself, 7th grade, so this is probably 81, 82. I listened to all these ABBA songs. I had the cassette. It was part of my youth.
Although familiar with the music, this show brought a whole lot of challenges to the cast. For the majority of the performers, this isn't their first time in a theater production, and yet this show continues to make even the most seasoned actor work hard.
For me, this has been the most physical show that I've been a part of. The previous show that I was in, I did 0 dancing. My blocking was super minimal, and I basically walked on stage and, singing was great, don't get me wrong. But this show has definitely challenged me more than any show has physically. I've literally been training outside of the show. You come to rehearsal and you do your dance rehearsals and you do your vocal exercises and all that stuff. But outside of it, I know some of the guys and some of the women and everyone a part of the cast has, they've been running on the treadmill while singing the songs. You have to have actual really impressive cardio to do some of the stuff that our wonderful choreographer Mayor Tony has put together for us. And it's a nice change of pace, at least for myself.
Out of all the community theater shows, including the ones I've done here in the past, this is by far the most challenging. Even when it comes to the blocking within the scenes, JD really, took us and took it to the next level when it comes to being where you're supposed to be and having to move so quickly, and you have to say your lines, but everyone's got to be able to hear it too. So like you said, even going on the treadmill or going for walks, everybody has been doing that just because that's what this show entailed. We did rehearsals for vocals for about a month and a half, and that was probably the most intense rehearsals that I've ever had, with songs that you've known your whole life, and you think you know them until
you have to split them into 8-part harmony, and then it's crazy.
So it's definitely been the most challenging show.
While it is a challenge, the team at Avon Players is ready to pack the house and offer audience members an escape from their everyday life and into the world of musical theater. Mamma Mia opens September 6th and runs until September 21st. You can purchase tickets online at avonplayers.org or call the box office at 248-608-9077. This was not just a regular day of golf at Cherry Creek Golf Course. It was home to Swing for a Cure golf outing. The proceeds benefit people right here in Macomb County.
Golfers are gathered today to give back to those that were impacted by the opioid crisis in Michigan. Hope Not Handcuffs is one of the leading groups in charge of today's event. David Clayton is helping organize this golf tournament because it hits home.
I suffered from drug and alcohol addiction for about 10, 11 years of my life, starting at 18 until about 28.
Now he's 28, clean, and the regional director for Families Against Narcotics, and wants to help other people recovering from drug abuse.
Right now we're amidst the largest health crisis in American history, and this opioid epidemic is killing people at an alarming rate. So we're doing everything that we can and won't stop until we can make a difference into that.
The National Institute on Drug Abuse says 2.1 million people have an opioid disorder in the United States, a problem we overlook and the reason awareness is important. Families Against Narcotics and their initiative Hope Not Handcuffs gives resources to people suffering. The reason Shane Giannino joined forces making this event happen.
What happens in, I think, people's journeys of life is that you don't start really paying attention until it touches your family personally. So opioids, it's a not only Michigan epidemic, but it's a crisis across the United States.
He's hoping to have fun golfing and help raise
$10,000 for Families Against Narcotics.
And a portion of this money goes to clothes, rides, sober living scholarships, anything to jumpstart progress for the people needing treatment.
We're grateful that the benefits and the proceeds are going to come back and benefit Families Against Narcotics.
And it's just going to be one big purposeful day, and we definitely are making a big difference.
This golf tournament event includes a breakfast, a networking cocktail, and a dinner. This way you spend the day knowing you could change a life.
There was also a raffle, a silent auction, and a live auction giving back to this amazing cause. In Shelby Township, Samana Sheikh reporting.
That's all we have for this edition of Shelby This Week. Remember, you can watch us online or on Facebook. Just search Shelby TV. We will leave you with scenes from the final library summer events. Although the events of the summer might be over at the library, they host activities all throughout the year. So check them out. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.